Chào anh Ryan với mọi người, hôm nay em xin thuyết trình bài của em bằng tiếng Anh nhé. Okay.
Wow, nice. All right.
All right, hello everyone. Today I would like to present my demo in English. Excuse me, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Okay, thank you. The reason why I would like to present in English is that I want to put it into my portfolio. This is a part in my portfolio, so I would like to have a full version in English. So please forgive me for any dissatisfaction or any misunderstanding. I beg your pardon. Okay. And so today I would like to introduce you to the function of opening online savings with NPF Nature Bank. Nature Bank is an imaginary or a fictitious bank that I have invented in order to serve my presentation. To particularly is to serve my case study. Okay, so I'm a little nervous. Okay, the contents, I have 5 sections in my presentation. The very first one is introduction and business context. The second one is problems and solutions. The number 3 is process flow. Number 4 is UI flow. And the final one is document SRS. I have written this SRS for a long time, so I would like to share with you at the end of my presentation. Yeah, let's move on. The first part, introduction and business context. There are 2 main stakeholders in the project, Nature Bank and IMS. Nature Bank is a famous bank in Vietnam. It is imaginary situation, so don't have to worry about it. In addition to some main functions such as transaction, amount onboarding, and money transferring, opening online savings is a strong franchise, and this is a very important contributor to the bank performance. And of course, Nature Bank application also includes some other vital functions such as money transferring, online topping up, and product managing. And IMS is an intermediary between the bank and customers using the app. It provides some financial solutions to the banks in the local area. And IMS is currently building a mobile app for Nature Bank. This is NB app. Okay. And this is the business context, IMS and core bank. IMS will get data from core bank, such as some account data and savings information. All right, let's move on to the second part. It is problems and solutions. For problem space, the very first problem is that it may take customers a long time to open a savings passbook at the bank in person, as they have to wait in a long queue as well as manage their own passbook. Number 2 is that the bank only provides such service during office hours, and it is very difficult for office workers to find time to go to the bank in order to open their savings. And as a consequence, this can cause some frustration among customers because they are those who are going to use some services provided by the bank. And number 3 is that a physical passbook may get lost by accident. Thing to manage every day. They have to manage a lot of things every day. So it is not very practical for them to bring the book with them everywhere. And of course, in some cases, they may need their passbook right there with them for instant needs. If they don't have that book, it may cause some troubles, of course. And number 4, the bank teller have to help customers fill out some forms for opening their savings. And of course, it may cause some frustration because customers may make some mistakes when filling out the forms. And it is obvious that their forms will be rejected if the forms completed by customers are not standard enough. And they will end up filling out those forms again and again, which makes both parties feel impatient. And the final one is that customers want to open their savings for multiple purposes. If they have to open one book for only one purpose, they seem to refuse this option. It is not practical for customers to go to the bank and open one book for each of their purposes. Yeah, it is very time consuming, you know. All right, for the solutions, so in order to solve the problem, we should develop a function on a mobile banking app so customers can, the first one, they can open their online savings now or on schedule. The second one is that they can manage their savings passbook online. Number three, they can keep track on their savings, and of course they can finalize their savings passbook online as well. Okay, let's refer to my big jam. This is functional decomposition. Oops, here. Yeah, this is the function of savings, and we have three main branches. The very first one is open savings. The second one is view savings list, and the third one is view savings plan. And for open savings, we have another two use cases. The very first one is open now, and the second one, the other is open later. For open now, after open now, we have initiated savings passbook, and let's then moving on, confirm, and then the final one, view savings list. Of course, this savings list is similar to this one. I think this is very complex to link like this, so I don't think this is a very good idea to link like this because it may cause audience be very difficult to understand. All right, for open later, after open later, we also have the similar flow like open now, initiate a savings plan. In the open now, we have savings passbook. However, in the open later, we have savings plan like this. And of course, we have confirm. And the final one is savings plan. Okay, savings plan here is similar to this one. Okay, and confirm. They are similar flow. This is the general flow for the whole process, for the whole app. Okay, for view savings list, after viewing savings list, we can view details of the savings, and then customers can finalize their savings, and then move on information flow, and final one is viewing finalization history. For savings plan, customer can view details of their saving plans, and then they can cancel their saving plans, and then they can confirm that. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's move on my process flow and UI flow. I would like to introduce you to my process flow first. Here. Yeah. This is the process flow, the basic flow, and another very big flow, EOD flow. I will mention it later. Okay. For customer, customer will press open online savings on the app, and then the app will display the introduction screen. They will press the button start now, and then the app will send a request for a source account list and minimum deposit amount right here. It will call an API. I have written a list of API, and I will show it to you later in my SRS document. Okay, and then server will transfer the request. The bank will retrieve source account list from the database, and it will check the availability of that source account list. If yes, it will return the data to the app, and if no, it will return an error message. There are two error cases here. The very first one is that your account is not authorized to open a savings account, blah, 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 blah. The second one is timeout. The connection is interrupted. Please try again later. And let's go back to the happy flow. If it is yes, the bank will return the data to the app via the server. The app will display the initiating screen, and customer will select the source account, and then they will enter the deposit amount. And after that, they will press the button next. Okay, and then the app will verify the format of the deposit amount. Oh, sorry, I was out of breath. Okay, and if this is invalid, it will display an error message. For example, your minimum deposit amount must be 1 million VND, something like this, and please try again later. And then it will ask the customer to go back to step 11. Okay, if it is valid, the app will send a request to the bank to retrieve the term list, and then the bank will calculate the maturity date, expected interest based on the deposit amount the customer has entered. And then, of course, it will retrieve the deposit term list. After that, it will check the availability of the list. If it is yes, it will return the data. If it is no, it will return an error message. There are two kinds of error messages here. The very first one is that the deposit term list does not exist. Please try again later. Time out. This is the general case for the whole flow. And then the app will display the term list, and then customers will choose the term based on the need. Then the app will send a request for the list of interest payment method and the list of renewal method. Right here is also called an API. This API is also included in my list. I will show it to you later. All right, and then the app will retrieve the list of the list of interest payment method and the list of renewal method. And of course, it also checks the availability of the list. If it's yes, it will return the data. If it is no, it will return an error message. No data has been found. Please try again later and time out this case. And then the app will display the screen open your savings. Then the customer will select interest payment methods, renewal method, and of course beneficiary account. So if it is open later, the customer will have to select the start date. However, in the flow of open now, they don't have to choose the start date because it is defaulted already. This is the default value. Then the customer press the button next to confirm all the information. The app will send a request for initiating the transactions, including all the information customer has selected and entered. And then the bank will initiate the transaction. At this time, the bank seems to perform two actions at the same time simultaneously. The very first action is that they will store data into database, and the second flow is that they will send OTP code to the customer's phone number. However, this flow is out of the scope of my document, so I don't need to mention that because this is the business of the bank. After storing data into database, the bank will return the result and verification method to the app, and then the app will display OTP verification screen. Then customer will enter OTP code that has been sent to their phone number, and then the app will validate the format of OTP. If the OTP is invalid, it will display an error message for the customer to re-enter it. For example, we have three cases here. Please enter OTP if customer enter no OTP. And OTP code must contain at least 6 characters if customers enter the OTP that is less than 6 characters. And of course, timeout case. If it is valid, the app will send a request for checking the validity of OTP code, and then the bank will verify the validity of OTP. If it is yes, the bank will open the saving passbook. Sorry for the spelling. Open the savings passbook and returns the success result. And if it is no, it will return an error message. There are a lot of error cases here. First one is that the OTP code is incorrect. Please enter again. OTP code is no longer valid. Please click resend OTP to get a new code because the OTP code will expire after 3 minutes. This is the business rule, and I also include those business rules in my document. The third one, number 3, is that the OTP code was cancelled due to too many wrong attempts. Please click resend OTP to get a new code. because customer has entered wrong OTP for more than three times. And the final one, OTP code, is temporarily blocked due to repeated requests. Please get a new code after 30 minutes. If they click resend OTP for more than 3 times, of course, the verification method will be locked for 30 minutes. And then 30 minutes after 30 minutes, customer will be allowed to just like to move on the flow. And yeah, if it's yes, the bank will open the savings passbook and return the success result to the app, and then the app will display the success screen. Okay, let's move on my UI flow. Yeah, this is the home screen. Okay, we can get you can get access to the savings function with 2 gates. The very first one is with the button start now on this banner. The second one is that the button in the part of favorite features. Okay, savings. There are 4 use cases here in savings. The very first one is open online savings. It has 2 flows. The first flow is open now. The second flow is open later. The second one is savings list. The third one is savings plan. And the final one is finalization history. Of course, I would like to extend these use cases, these to the series. Yes, the series function of savings. However, I have no time to do it. Okay. So let's move on. The first one, open online savings. Okay, after clicking on open online savings, you will see the introduction screen like this. We have 4 steps to open your online savings, and then if you click on start now, we will right here the app will call an API for source account list and a minimum deposit. The minimum deposit is not fixed at client because it may change later in the future. So the bank would prefer to return it via API instead of fixing it at client. So we have to connect an API for it. Okay. So the customer will enter the savings deposit amount here. For example, $20 million. I'm sorry, 20 million VND. A lot of money, but I don't have such a lot of money. It's just a sample data. Okay, next, right here is also called an API for a term list. Just like I have mentioned, the bank will calculate maturity date and expected interest based on the deposit amount customer has entered from the previous screen, and then they will show a deposit term like this. And then customer will click on one of the deposit term that they would like to open the savings with. For example, 6 months like this. And then they will move on the screen of open your savings now. It is the initiating screen I have mentioned in the flow. Okay, we have 2 tabs. The first tab is open now, and the second tab is open later. Right here, the start date for open now. Customer they are not allowed to reselect or to select their start date because it's the default value, the T date. And of course, savings deposit amount they have entered from the previous screen, so they cannot re-enter it. If they want to change the amount, they will have to go back to the previous screen to amount that. For the deposit term, they can re-choose their deposit term. And if they click on this icon, the screen will display a pop-up of deposit term. Yeah, this one, deposit term. So instead of the whole screen, I would like to design it as a pop-up. Okay. For the interest payment method, right here, right now, the bank only have one interest payment method. This is at the end of the term. However, in the future, they may change. Let me change it. They may add some other payment methods. instead of just one. Okay, and for renewal method, they have two kinds of renewal method. The first one, no automatic renewal, and the second one is automatic renewal. And beneficiary account, actually beneficiary account is similar to the source account. They are returned from one API. They are similar to each other. Okay. For example, after choosing and after selecting all the information, customer click on next, and then move on the confirmation screen. In the confirmation screen, we have some information like start date, source account, savings deposit amount, deposit term, interest rate, expected interest, blah, 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 something like this. And then after if they agree with all the information, they will click on the button next here. So they will move on to the flow of verification, and then they will have to enter the OTP code that has been sent to their phone number in 6 characters. And of course, this is the whole flow. This is a separate use case. I describe this use case separately in my document. And then the outcome. I need you to pay attention to this notification here. You have successfully opened a savings passbook with the deposit top, blah, blah, blah. And right here on this screen, customer can view their savings list. It is another use case. So, okay, I will go back the flow of open later. After choosing the deposit term, customer, the screen of open now is default. So if they don't want to open now, they want to open later, they will click on the button open later, and then the screen will display. The app will display the screen of open later. Here, start day, you can choose the start day. And of course, according to the business rules, customer can only choose the days within 1 year. So it also means that they cannot choose the days from today onwards and the day after T plus 365, because just 1 year, 365, sorry. Okay, and this is the savings information. It's just like the flow of open now. Okay, and move on to confirmation. The start date 20th of June instead of 19th of June. In the flow of open now, we can see the start date is 19th of June. However, in this in the flow of open later, the start date will be T plus 1 instead of the date T. Okay, and verification flow. It is similar for the whole process. Okay, and this notification, your passbook will be open with the deposit, blah, 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 based on the start date you have chosen. For further information, please get access to saving plan. Do you notice that in the flow of open now, we have savings list. However, in the flow of open later, we have savings plan. So what is the difference between them? Okay, I will give you an explanation right now. And you can get access to savings list or savings plan from this screen or the outcome screen of the previous 2 flows I have mentioned. Savings, so we will start with the savings list right here. The savings list includes all the savings passbook that has been working already. For example, today is 19th of June. So this passbook was opened on the 10th of June, and this passbook was opened on the 15th of June, and this passbook has just been opened. So if you click on one tab, you can view the savings details, saving passbook number in order for the customer to manage their savings book effectively and easily. Okay, and of course it also includes all the all the necessary information for the customer to know about the savings. Okay, and right here they can finalize their savings. This is another use case. Then the app will display, the system will display the screen of finalization of your savings. This is just like confirmation for finalization. Okay, and if they agree to finalize their savings, they will click on next, and then the system will ask them to verify. And this is the general flow. It happens as the normal flow for the whole app, right? Okay, and then move on the outcome. You have successfully finalized your savings passbook with the interest of blah, blah, blah. Okay, and this is the finalization list. And right here, customer can view their finalization history with the finalization list here, right? And of course, right here, they can click on one tab to view the savings that they have just finalized. And right here, we have no other use case but to go back to the home screen. And for the savings plan, I need you to pay attention to the notification here. Your savings passbook in the list will be opened later, and please follow the notification. So for example, today is 19th of June, so this passbook will be opened on the 21st of June, and this passbook will be opened on the 13th of June. They are future plan, okay? And right here, you can view the savings details of that savings plan. Right, I separate the start date right here for the customer to know that when the savings plan will be executed, right? Right on this screen, there's another use case to cancel the savings plan. If the customer wants to cancel the savings plan, they will click on this button, and then the system will display a pop-up to let them know that this action cannot be reversed. And are you sure to cancel the savings plan? If they agree, they will click on the button yes, and if they don't agree, they will click on the button no, and they will stay at the same screen without any changes. And yes, and they will move on the verification flow like this, and then next, and then the system will process the transaction, and then it will display a small pop-up like this, successfully cancelled. And of course, the savings passbook that has just been cancelled will disappear from the savings plan here. And customer can go back to the screen. And this is the function of finalization history. Customer can view their finalization list and details like this I mentioned. Okay. And for the EOD flow, EOD is the time when the bank process the batch. It is the time just like process all the transaction at one time, and EOD time is complete at 9 p.m. every day. And so for this screen, open your savings. After entering the savings deposit amount, customer will click on next, and the system will check whether it is EOD or not. It will display this notice like this: the start date of the savings passbook has been updated to the following day instead of today. And if they want to move on, they will click on agree. And if they don't want to move on, they will click on cancel, and then we will go back on the screen. For example, click agree, and then it will display the deposit term. So the reverse screen of deposit term, the maturity day is on 19th of June. Right here, this screen is 20th of June, and the maturity day is the 20th of December. Because it has been updated to the following day instead of today because of EOD. Customer will click on one tab, and then it will display the screen like this. For open now, the start date has been automatically updated to the following day, to the day T+1 instead of the date T, and then the customer will choose on the information. And for the open later, customer can choose their start date, and then they will enter or select on the information, and then next. There's nothing happen here because the start date, customer are allowed to choose the start date freely, and right here after clicking on next, the system will check whether the start date overlaps the system day T+1. If it is true, the system will update. The system will display this notification. The system is synchronizing data at the end of the day, and your start day will be updated to the day T+2 instead of T+1. T+1 for open now and T+2 for open later. And if they want to move on, they will click on the button agree here, and then confirmation, verification, and outcome like this. Okay. Okay, I would like to introduce you. I would like to share with you my SRS document. Yeah, I have written this SRS document for a long time.
Sorry, Evan. So before we got too far, I just want to so I think for the SRS, I can take it offline to review your SRS. So now, are you done with the presentations, or you just want to go through the other parts?
Okay, maybe SRS is the final flow of my presentation.
You can walk us through the SRS, and then I can take it offline to for you.
Okay. Okay, this is my API list. Here I have list 11 API. The very first one is source account list and minimum deposit amount. The second one is deposit term, and number 3, interest payment method. Number 4, renewal method. Number 5, online savings initiation. Number 6, online savings confirmation. Number 7, verification. Number 8, savings list and details. Number 9, savings plan cancellation. Number 10, savings finalization. Number 11, finalization list and details. And this is my use case list, use case catalog. The very first one, initiate savings, verify your savings information. This is the OTP flow. Number 3, view your savings list and details. Number 4, finalize your savings passbook. Number 5, view your finalization history. Number 6, view your savings plan. And the final one is cancel your savings plan. And so let's pay attention to my map here for use case specification. The first one, use case number 1. I have stream flow and I have UI specification, and the final one is flow of events. I also describe everything about UI in the UI specification, just like I describe every screen in my flow. Okay, and the flow of events. It's just like you have taught me to write. Okay, and this part also brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so yeah. Finally, I just want to say well done. You can share your screen again because I'm going to ask a few questions. It was such a great presentation, and thank you very much. You've done a good job. So this is the very first time I've seen someone presenting in English for the final presentation. So I just have a few questions for you. First of all, how long does it take you to prepare for this final presentation?
It takes me about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
This is maybe a long time, and I have put a lot of effort and time in that because just like I want my demonstration or my presentation as clear, as detailed as possible, because I will put it into my portfolio in order to earn more value.
Okay, so how do you find it after you've been through 2 weeks for the preparation?
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that?
How do you find it? How do you feel about it after you've been through 2 weeks for the preparation?
So it's very excellent because I can analyze something. I can work as a truthful it's a real VA. And then of course I can use my English to deliver this presentation. Of course I really thank you for everything you have taught me. You have taught me and advised me to do.
Okay, so the presentation today was very smooth. I guess you have done a lot of practices, rehearsal, etc. to make it smooth like this one. So how many times have you rehearse yourself at home?
Yeah, actually, I have just experienced 2 rehearsals. Because I understand the flow carefully, and of course I am good at English, so English to me is very easy. Speaking, that is my favorite. This is like I feel like I can find myself when I speak English, something like this.
Okay, nice. I think you got a really great accent. So how do you practice your English communication skill?